Have you ever had that like feeling that you're about to record an awful creepy? Oh, hey, welcome to Awful Creepypasta, guys. Today we got two stories. One is called 1 Cent Computer, and the other, well, you'll just have to find out.
And this first one was requested by a
Name
person
on the
whose
screen.
name's gonna be on the screen.
Name on the screen. As I walked down the street, I found an old garage sale. Oh, I bet you did. There was lots of stuff in it. Mostly laptops and stuff. You already said stuff. They were all only 1 cent each. I had over $250 in my wallet at the time. And when I got home, I had 250,000 computers. No. I had over $250 in my wallet at the time, so I bought everything, not knowing what was going on. Wait, so my joke wasn't even like a joke.
He didn't even know what he was doing.
He's just like, money! As my neighbors helped me unpack my stuff, one of the laptops turned on. The neighbor said, oops! Then he turned it off, not knowing it was possessed.
One of his laptops, he bought like 7.
All of the computers were turned on. Some are plugged in. Some of the best, my favorites, HP Pavilion, an old E-Machine, a new Acer, and the one I was most happy about, the Alienware laptop.
Aliens.
That's like MLG stuff right there. There were hundreds more, but I haven't plugged them in. I didn't make a joke. Did I?
No, he actually did just buy hundreds of laptops for 1 cent each.
I haven't plugged them in yet, so I went to bed, forgetting about this exhausting day. 2 hours later, I woke from a blood-curdling scream. But the
He
strange
woke
thing,
from screaming.
all the computers were plugged in. All 25,000.
25.
I didn't even make a joke.
25,500.
Where'd the other 500 come from?
Like, he had them all plugged in?
No, what I'm wondering, where are all the outlets? Like, does he?
Yeah.
Is his house an outlet?
His electricity bill is $2.1 billion.
Yeah.
All around my house.
Then I saw blood prints as I was following them. I led to my porch. Outside, there was the computer's dealer body. There was
one
letter.
of his bodies.
There was letter drawn by blood. It said, 1 cent is not enough. I was horrified, so I looked for my house phone. It wasn't plugged in because there was 25,000 computers plugged in. No, it was plugged into the wall instead of on the desk. I didn't care. I called 911. Then I got a voice message which said, 1 cent will always pay you back. Then I heard another scream. It sounded like one of my neighbors, so I ran to get my iPhone 4S. Are you okay?
Or you could just call him on the phone
But
you were
it
at.
was in a Debian-like scream.
Debian?
It said 1 cent will always watch your back. It's like 50 Cent will watch your back, the rapper.
1 cent is not enough.
But then I saw that all my computers were turned on, faced towards me. It blinded me. There's 25,000 computers in my house.
They're all looking at you.
I don't know if this is serious or not.
I don't know.
But then I saw them. My computers turned on. Then one of the Acers jumped in front and went to a screen. It looked like it had widgets, like Windows Vista, except it had Windows XP, like Start Menu Taskbar, later discovered as Windows Longhorn.
Windows Longhorn.
He went back to be like, I don't care.
No one cares.
And all 25,500 computers swarmed up, all plugged in, and some card readers. Other had USBs, some were Macs, some were Alienware, others were Dell. Then I saw a laptop dragging a bloody corpse with its hearts in organs carved out with flies around the corpse. Then wires started coming out. Then I saw a thumping heart exposed in the E-Machine. Then wires started coming up and an arrow said, "You're next!" Then a picture of a cat that said, "Icon has heart, please." The picture had a cat with gray fur, but the poor cat's eyes had blood coming out and his ribcage exposed with his heart missing. Also, the Macs got the Finder windows up with the red Finder, but there was blood pouring from his nose and mouth. I saw that the old E-Machine had a picture of a troll that said, "You gutted, bro?"
I actually felt sorry for the troll for some reason. because he had spikes. Because he had spikes separating his lips from his mouth and his brain exposed.
I don't.
As I tried to run for the door, the computers had a wall charger which was standing upright like a snake. Then my power went out, and then the computers moved out of the way as... ... The server dragged itself out with blood all over it.
It is self.
It is self, yes, sure. A computer towers shot a disc right at me. It missed. After that, my dog came in curious of what is going on. Oh, I thought the dog was like out of the house just because you couldn't fit him in there with all those computers.
Oh, okay, I gotta read this. Where are we?
Right about there.
The computer tower shot another disc at its head, and my dog's head got chopped off. As I saw inside the dog's heart last beating, the server then reached inside his cut off neck and pulled out his heart, then sucked it in.
His heart
I
removed
saw
his
that the
last
computers all got blue screens except for the computers with Linux and Macs. The computer started to get
Sparks.
The band, and sadly, all my new computers around my house caught on fire and exploded.
And then I died.
Yeah, that's like 20,000 computers exploding. How many computers do you think we could fit in here? Like 100 maybe? How big is this guy's house?
I don't know.
And then the burnt circuits stood up together and acted like a dog with the sound and tackled me and said, "1 cent is enough to kill though." Then wires started popping up and stabbed into my skin, and the computer said, "Shh, 1 cent is not enough to buy me." As I walked down the street,
Wait a minute.
I found an old
Garage sale.
Scroll down.
What?
Scroll down.
What? He repeats the story. And then he stops.
So that part where it says, "Shh, 1 cent is not enough to buy me," and then they copy pasted the story again in the next sentence for the next 25 sentences, and it ends with, "The wires started popping up and stabbed into my skin, and the computer circuit said, 'Shh, 1 cent is enough to..." What?
Why would you copy it all?
Seriously, I'm linking that in the thing. What the heck?
The thing is, it looks like he cut parts out. Like, what?
Alright, let's read some comments.
You
said the story 2 times. The pasta I made.
Clive the Hobo says, Alright. I was reading the start of this, and that was probably the biggest crap I have ever heard. They were all 1 cent. That's even unbelievable for a troll pasta.
It's not good.
Yeah. Yep. Earthbound music.
It's better than that.
Nintendo, go sue us. Go copyright claim it.
Okay, this story is called Unholy Protector. Cadence Frederick. No.
Alex? You okay?
I'm not reading Slowly Going Crazy too.
If I... Ebony Darkness Dementio Raven Way sighed quietly to herself as another paper ball hit her head. She refused to turn around because she knew her bullies would just insult her. So she continued her drawing. She drew the same thing every time. Period. A lady in a black dress. Her hair silver reflecting the light of the moon like. Her wings black as night. From the side her eye was hidden. She only has one. But when drawn head on, he eyes were white. As no iris or pupil, enough to send chills down the bravest of men. What is this? What am I reading? She doesn't know why she drew her, but she always did it. When she was being bullied, she would lose herself in the girl.
What?
Tittling it every time.
Tittling it.
Unholy protector.
Someone who could protect the not-so-innocent people and deliver them to their make. She smiled. She drew him for her dad. He is in prison for the deaths of 132 people.
What? 132? 32.
I think he's a bit more than
132 people.
When they caught him.
What did he do? He just murdered 132.
He bought 25,000 laughs after they all exploded.
Yeah.
And the entire neighborhood died.
The entire neighborhood just, they're...
That was one reason she was bullied. Her dad was insane. She rolled her eyes. She loved her dad, and he loved her enough so that she was allowed to watch their deaths.
What's the voice?
I love you, Dad. Dad, that was nice. Did you see how I put that knife in? She rolled her eyes. She loved her dad, loved her too, enough so that she was allowed to watch her death. No one knew of this fact, but maybe it's hereditary. Okay. Because she often daydreamed about the deaths of her bullies. The bell rang, signaling the end of school. Everyone stood gathering magic, their stuff, frantically excited to get the hell out of there. Here. She stood and left too, stopping be her locker to put her stuff away.
The locker just stops.
She was smiling happily, humming. In about an hour, she was headed to prison.
To see her dad, who didn't have the death penalty.
She headed down the stairs and started the 20-minute walk home. She put one of her headphones in so she could still hear her surroundings.
Here, right now.
As she walked, she felt as if she were being followed and stopped. In her tracks, turning, she looked around. What is welcome out? She said to whoever it was. She always had inhuman senses. How adorable! How adorable this freak thinks she can stand up to us. Well, guess what? We kill the pet. Guess what? You can't. Your dad killed my parents, and now
people.
It's. Ah!
Call from. Get this.
Call from.
That's kind of creepy.
They call him. And
Stop. That's really creepy.
now it's his turn to lose.
To lose someone he loves.
Heath Ledger crossed with Jeff Goldblum.
Jasmine, the leader, said pulling her gun. Not pulling it out, but just going... On instinct, Cadence took off running for the woods, bullets being fired at her. She went as fast as she could. The sound of them close behind echoed in her ear. She came to an icy river and immediately went to cross the sheet of ice. Halfway through, she heard the sound of ice cracking beneath her feet. Fear swelled in her chest. She turned to get up, only to see her bullies aiming the gun. Only instead of it being aimed at her, it was pointed down at the ice. Jasmine smiled. Later, bitch. Jasmine said... The Jokers, and fired. She didn't have a job. Everything slowed down for a few moments as the ice gave way and Cadence was dipped under the water.
Dipped. And then came back
she
out.
She tried to get fraction on the ground. What? She tried to get fraction on the ground.
She tried to get a fraction on the ground.
Friction.
I get it, though.
She tried to get fraction on the ground. 1/2!
And slipped.
Being dragged back onto the icy sheet as she tried clawing her way out. She saw the water under her turn red from Pokemon and felt her nails being pulled from her skin. At the moment, she didn't care. She just wanted out of the water. She desperately wanted to live, but eventually the need for air overpowered the need to live.
Air versus living, the epic struggle.
Oh no.
And
no.
Are you gonna read? Go. And she
inhaled a mouthful of water. She began coughing, forcing more water down her throat. Her lungs burned as they filled with water. Her sight began to turn black as she slipped into unconscious and eventually death.
Yeah.
So this was... Oh, it goes on. From a conference room, a group of people talked while eyeing the drenched girl. They discussed what they should do to her and eventually agreed to send her back to get the closure she desperately craved. One of the men in the room touched her forehead.
Welcome to immortality,
the man said, and the girl fainted.
A week after Cadence drowning, the body was never found and the cops had no idea who did it. Jasmine and her friends had agreed to take it to the grave. Not a single one said a word. And they ditched the gun, acting as if nothing had happened. Until one night, Josephine, Hasman's best friend, was walking home from Hasman's house.
Okay, Hasman's.
And went missing.
Wait, who?
Days later, okay, her neck snapped and eyes gouged out and lungs full of water, her hands covered in blood.
Covered in blood.
On the wall behind her, written in her own blood, was 7 words.
I'm singing like Bane.
I have relieved you of our sins. The instant it happened, the news and the media blew up, talking about what had happened, claiming a psychopath had gotten to her. It happened for the next 9 weeks, one at a time. Jasmine's friends all began to die, as well as other people. Ones who at one point or another committed a small crime, or a large one. Someone who had been arrested for murder, but never convicted. Finally, the last one left was Jasmine. She held up in her room, hiding out, trying not to be found in her room where everyone thinks she's going to be. She had a feeling she knew who the murderer was, and the thought scared her.
Knew the murderer was.
At 12 o'clock, the sound of footsteps. At 12 o'clock, the sound of footsteps.
She knew who the murderer was. Well, of course, it was in the news.
At 12 o'clock, the sound of footsteps coming down the hall sounded, and they began to approach Jasmine's room.
Oh no, you got the character name wrong. Remember?
She frantically scrambled under the bed, tears streaming down her face. Her door never opened, but suddenly a pair of bear were at the foot of her bed.
That's just bad wordplay.
Feet were at the
She
foot.
whimpered, trying to remain silent, and failing because she's whimpering.
Clearly.
Tisk! 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 Jasmine heard from the murderer as her bed was suddenly flipped. And
Is Jasmine locked?
as Jasmine
She got a last name now.
As Jasmine locked eyes with her murderer, she froze. "No, you're dead!" she shouted, starting to cry hysterically. "I watched you drown." Standing before her was what looked to be
Cadence.
She still had her black hair, but her eyes were a murky green, and she had black wings folded on her back. Jasmine made a move to run, but as she went to the Mary Sue, Cadence slammed her hand on Jasmine's leg, shattering the bone. She screamed out in agony and turned around. Cadence reached down and slammed a finger into her eyes.
See no evil.
Cadence said, detaching her eyeballs. Jasmine screamed out, "Pain!" Next, Cadence grabbed a knife, slicing of her ears.
Hear no evil.
Why are you doing this?
She screamed. Cadence moved close to her face.
You have sinned. I now relieve you of your sin.
She said and grabbed Jasmine's tongue. As Jasmine went to bite her, she pulled it out, and Jasmine bit off her own tongue. Blood filled her mouth, and she screamed and died. She screamed, hand shaking, and going to her mouth, apostrophe, nothing after it, desperate to stop the bleeding.
Say no evil.
Cadence took a hold of her head and twisted it sharply, hearing the satisfying snap of her former classmate's neck, and her body fell limp.
No
evil. The end. That was really bad, and I did not enjoy it. This has been Awful Creepypasta. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully next time we will not meet a Mary Sue. Dun dun.
Just give a reprise of the Heath Ledger Joker. Come on. You can do it. And Jeff Goldblum. Come on.
It's simple. We kill the Jasmine.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Hello. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, or subscribe, or all of them. Doesn't really matter. We don't care. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, like, dislike if you didn't enjoy it. But honestly, why would you watch the end of the video if you didn't think you were going to enjoy it? I don't know. But anyway, leave a request and we'll probably get to it, maybe. Maybe. I say maybe only because theory pastas in particular are things I don't really want to do. And Alex doesn't really want to do just because they're all bad in the same way. Anyway, that's about all. Goodbye. Don't kill me! I do no evil!
I can't die, you need us.
You can't quit, we need you.